Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming to our presentation today. My name is Logan Boatright. I'm a Business Development Manager for Tracerco here in the United States, and I'm here to give a very quick overview of a new instrument that we're really excited about. The following presentation that you're about to see was given at REFCOMM in 2026 in Galveston for our official launch of our new product, DrumVision. So some of you may have heard of Tracerco before. We have several different divisions from diagnostic services to instruments, and we have been pioneers in this industry for over 65 years. We're here today primarily to introduce DrumVision, which is a new product for coke drum interface monitoring. DrumVision allows you to reliably detect the interface between vapor, foam, and coke in your vessel using a proven technology that replaces an older technology. Let's start with why precision interface measurement matters. So without precision interface measurement, you have no control or vision into what you need to see. As you're all aware, precision interface measurement improves product quality, it leads to less unplanned upsets, and it reduces failures in your facility. When it comes to coke drums specifically, it allows you to see the interface between vapor, foam, and coke in your vessel. So to give a little bit of history on coke drum monitoring, we're going to discuss some of the history and then the current landscape. So we want to give a rundown of the current landscape of coke drum monitoring. So neutron backscatter devices, which is what DrumVision is, they've been used on coke drums worldwide for decades. There are hundreds of coke drums in existence, and about 85% of these coke drums have the mounting brackets suitable for a neutron backscatter device like DrumVision. These were put in place for the legacy systems, which we'll go into a little bit detail on here in a second. So there was one major company in the marketplace that produced these neutron backscatter systems. Years ago, they decided to discontinue the product. So this left a major gap in the market, and many customers were left with unsupported, obsolete systems. So largely because of this, gamma-based solutions started to become more prevalent. I'm sure that many of you are familiar with gamma technologies. If not, we'll talk about them here a little bit more in a second. And gamma is a great technology. It's a technology that Tracerco uses as well. And in this case, it allows you to measure the bulk level or a point level, but it does not allow true interface measurement. In fact, there is no option for true interface measurement until today with the introduction of DrumVision from Tracerco. So gamma versus neutron backscatter. What are the major differences? So this chart right here shows some of the main differences in the features, benefits of neutron backscatter and gamma. I'm going to highlight just a few of these points. So let's start with both devices are non-intrusive, meaning that they sit outside of your vessel and they do not make contact with the process. When it comes to neutron backscatter, again, neutron backscatter devices such as DrumVision measure interface and allow you to see exactly where in your coke drum the coke, foam, and vapor levels are located. Gamma will allow you to see the level in your vessel, but it does not distinguish between the phase and interface. It allows you to see the top level of either the foam or the coke, but it does not tell you what that level is or how long or tall that interface is in your vessel. So the main difference between the two technologies is that neutron backscatter allows you to tell the interface of your coke drum at certain levels. Gamma allows you to tell the bulk level without distinguishing the interface. So just a visual here of what I'm talking about to show you an example of layouts of gamma or neutron backscatter setups. So on the left, you have what would be a typical gamma setup. You have your source mounted on the left side of the vessel. You have a detector mounted on the right side of the vessel. The source beams radiation across the vessel at an angle, and as the level rises or changes in your vessel, the radiation signal is cut off proportional to the level of the vessel. So the detector will read this and tell you where the top level of your vessel is. Again, this just shows you the top level of the vessel. It does not distinguish between the different phases or interfaces in the vessel. So on a coke drum, you might have one of these devices. You might have one stacked on top of another to give you the range that you need for your vessel. So that's gamma. On the right side, you have a typical neutron backscatter device set up on a coke drum, in this case, DrumVision. As mentioned before, a very large percentage of coke drums were built to have the option to install 4 devices per drum. When we say have the option, we mean that the vessels are manufactured with the mounting brackets to install 4 of these neutron backscatter devices. So if you look at the drawing, the light blue would represent the foam in the coke drum, and the dark blue would represent the coke. So as the levels rise, the neutron backscatter devices are able to tell you exactly where you have foam or coke present and at the level in which they appear. So in this example, the bottom device would be seeing and showing that foam is present. And as the levels of the foam rise and the levels of the coke rise with them, and they reach where the other devices are able to detect, you would see a different signal on the devices for foam or coke to know exactly where your interface measurement is. So talked a lot about neutron backscatter. And again, some of you might be familiar with how it works. Just going to go over this really quickly. So how does neutron backscatter tell the interface and do all these great things that we've been talking about? Well, neutron backscatter readings, they're based on the amount of hydrogen that's present in a process phase. So in a neutron backscatter device, you have a source, and that source will eliminate fast neutrons, which enter the vessel, and they interact with the process, in this case in a coker, on the inside. Once these neutrons interact with the process, they become thermal neutrons, which scatter in all directions, including back to the detector. The more hydrogen that's present in the process, the more neutrons are backscattered, hence the name neutron backscatter. And the detector at this time is able to read and determine exactly what phase the neutrons are coming in contact with by how many neutrons are scattered back, which is based on the hydrogen content. So now let's talk a little bit more specifically about DrumVision. So this is where we're going to introduce our latest and greatest product, which again is a new and improved neutron backscatter device that allows you to see the different interfaces within your coke drum vessel. So what you see on your screen, this is a drawing of Tracerco's DrumVision and a brief breakdown of the unit itself. So on the right side of your screen, you'll see the entire unit as it would be installed on your coke drum, flat against the coker wall. And on the left, you can see a breakdown of the different parts of the unit itself. So we'll go through these pretty quickly. Number one at the bottom on the left, that's the face of the unit. This is the part that's mounted directly onto your drum on the coker wall. Number two, you have your primary shielding for the source. So this ensures the unit is safe and will not affect the workers or equipment around it. Number three that you have over here, this is our source holder. Source and source holder, which is placed inside of the DrumVision unit, which allows DrumVision to either be armed or isolated. So you're allowed to either isolate or arm the source for use. Number four is the shell of the unit that houses all of the internals and the main part that you would see when it was mounted. So from the shell, from the outside, you're able to arm or disarm the unit for use. And then number five, this is a really exciting part about DrumVision that we are very happy to talk about. So this is our detector. And compared to legacy neutron backscatter detectors, our detectors are solid state. So what these detectors do, they read the backscattered neutrons and are able to detect which phase, again, vapor, foam, or coke, is present within your coke drum. What the legacy, now obsolete devices used was a gas-filled detector that was often filled with helium-3 or a different gas. This device would have to be refilled or recalibrated. And when talking with customers, you know, some of these gases can be harmful and cause some exposure. That's not an issue with Tracerco's DrumVision using the solid-state detector. So our detector doesn't require any gas refilling, so it's solid state, does not require recalibration, And it's a major safety feature of our unit when compared to these legacy systems. So you saw the drawing. Here are a couple pictures of DrumVision installed on a Coke drum at a major refinery in Europe that we've been running a trial at. So what I'm really looking to show here is that DrumVision isn't just a concept. It's not just something that we've thought up and we think is a good idea. This is a field-tested technology, a field-tested product that has undergone field trials and is currently undergoing more field trials as we speak. So here's some of the data from one of our recent trials at the refinery that we just mentioned a second ago, and we'll go through a couple of the key points on this plot. So all of these points are readings from our device on the side of a Coke drum, and all of the actions that we're going to discuss were verified by the customer that we are working with. So this is one cycle of a Coke drum. So you can see the first parts here on the left, where the foam started to spike and an anti-foam agent was introduced, which brought the foam levels down every time. So in these three circles, you can see foam levels rising, anti-foam use, and the foam levels dropping. The third circle that you see right here is a drain of the Coke drum. The rectangular box that just appeared on the screen shows where water has filled up the Coke drum. And then the two spikes at the end are high pressure water jets to cut out the Coke. This is some of the data that we've received from our field trials. We are expecting much more data in the very near future that we're going to be very excited to share with you. Everything is going according to plan, and we're very, very excited about it. So just a summary of DrumVision and some of the things we talked about. This is how we'd like to conclude the presentation today. We'll go through these. First of all, DrumVision is currently the only instrument on the market that gives you the insights into your instrument to see true three-phase visibility of the vapor, foam, and Coke in your Coke drum. Other instruments, like we talked about, can show you the bulk level, but we can show you the interface. Knowing the interfaces in your Coke drum allows you to optimize your anti-foam consumption, as well as maximize your throughput by minimizing the outage in your vessel. Essentially, this instrument allows you to save money on anti-foam and also to make more money by knowing where your interfaces are so you can maximize your throughput through the vessel. So another benefit is enhanced safety and reliability. So we discussed a little bit earlier our solid state detector, which unlike legacy systems is not gas-filled and does not require calibration. We also expect to see a 30-year working life out of these DrumVision units, something that you should be able to install, and it should work whenever you need it to. Next thing is the operating cost reduction. We touched on a few of these points, but DrumVision is retrofit friendly. If you have an existing neutron backscatter device and you are ready to replace it, DrumVision will fit exactly right in its place. Exact same mounting brackets, exact same mounting patterns, a true drop-in replacement. So because of this, largely because of this, installation takes hours, not days, and it can be completed between cycles with no need to wait for a major turnaround or shutdown. It can be installed very quickly. We talked about reducing anti-foam consumption above, but DrumVision gives operators the information that is needed to reduce the anti-foam use, which can be a major cost for a facility. And the last thing, finally, is unit profitability. So knowing the interfaces of your Coke drum allows you to achieve higher throughput and maximize your Coke drum capacity. So that's all we have today on DrumVision. That was a very quick run through on a little bit of the history, some of the features and benefits. We went over some trial data and gave a quick summary of our instrument. Really appreciate you joining today. Would love to talk with you about DrumVision at your facility, answer any questions that you might have. Again, my name's Logan Boatright, Business Development Manager for Tracerco's Measurement Instrument Groups in America. Thank you very much for attending.